Did you know that the human brain weighs about 3 pounds, yet it consumes 20% of the body's energy? Now imagine if this supercomputer of the body malfunctions. Welcome back to our neuroscience series. In this episode, we're peeling back the layers of the brain, revealing the inner workings of this complex organ and exploring the consequences when things go awry. When it comes to brain disorders, the spectrum is broad and multifaceted. It encompasses a diverse range of conditions, from neurodegenerative diseases that cause cells to deteriorate over time, to psychiatric disorders that affect mood, thinking, and behavior. These disorders are not just medical conditions, they are life-altering experiences that impact individuals in profound ways, affecting their ability to work, to communicate, to remember, to feel joy, or even to move. These conditions touch every aspect of life, altering not just the lives of those diagnosed, but also those of their families, friends, and caregivers. Neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Huntington's represent a class of disorders that gradually erode neural connections, resulting in cognitive decline, motor dysfunction, and ultimately a loss of independence. On the other hand, mood and anxiety disorders, including depression and bipolar disorder, manifest as disruptions in emotional state and daily functioning. Then there are the enigmatic psychotic disorders like schizophrenia, characterized by alterations in perception, thought, and behavior. Neurodevelopmental disorders such as autism spectrum disorder and ADHD disrupt the normal growth and development of the brain, often leading to lifelong challenges. Lastly, acute brain injuries such as stroke and traumatic brain injury can leave sudden and devastating impact on brain function. Each of these conditions is a puzzle with its own unique pattern. They are the result of a complex interplay of genetics, environment, and sometimes sheer chance. But within these puzzles lie clues that could lead to breakthroughs in understanding, treating, and maybe even preventing these disorders. As we delve deeper into the intricate world of brain disorders, it's fascinating and sometimes heartbreaking to see how a slight alteration in our neural circuitry can change our lives drastically. So, stick around as we embark on this journey of discovery, unraveling the mysteries of the brain one neuron at a time. Imagine forgetting the faces of your loved ones, or your body betraying you as it shakes uncontrollably. These are realities for people living with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Today, we're diving into the world of neurodegenerative diseases, conditions that involve the progressive loss of structure or function of neurons, including their death. We begin with Alzheimer's disease, a condition that slowly erodes a person's memory, thinking skills, and eventually the ability to carry out the simplest tasks. At its core, Alzheimer's is characterized by the buildup of two types of proteins, plaques and tangles, that damage and kill neurons. The exact causes of Alzheimer's disease are still not fully understood, but it's believed to be a mix of genetic, lifestyle, and environmental factors. Next, we have Parkinson's disease, a disorder that primarily affects a person's movement. It's often associated with tremors, but can also cause stiffness and slowing of movement. Parkinson's disease is caused by the degeneration of the substantia nigra, a part of the brain that produces dopamine, a chemical messenger responsible for transmitting signals in the brain that coordinate movement. Finally, let's talk about Huntington's disease, a genetic disorder that causes the progressive breakdown of nerve cells in the brain. It affects a person's functional abilities, leading to physical, cognitive, and psychiatric issues. The disease is caused by a mutation in a single gene, the Huntington gene, and is inherited from an affected parent. These neurodegenerative diseases, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Huntington's, are all characterized by the loss of neurons and the subsequent impact on our bodies and minds. They remind us of the importance of every single neuron in our brain and how their loss can drastically affect our lives. As we continue to explore the world of brain disorders, it's crucial to remember that understanding these conditions is the first step towards finding effective treatments and, hopefully, cures. These neurodegenerative diseases remind us of the importance of every single neuron in our brain and how their loss can drastically affect our lives. Ever felt so low that getting out of bed seems like climbing Mount Everest, or so anxious that your heart feels like it's going to burst out of your chest? Welcome to the world of mood and anxiety disorders. Mood and anxiety disorders are a group of psychiatric conditions that include depression, various anxiety disorders, and bipolar disorder. They are sadly common, affecting millions of people worldwide. These disorders are not just about feeling sad or nervous. They are characterized by extreme shifts in mood, energy, and ability to function. Let's delve a little deeper, shall we? At the heart of these disorders are our brain's neurons and how they communicate. Neurotransmitters, chemicals that transmit signals across a synapse from one neuron to another, play a crucial role in mood regulation. For example, serotonin, often termed the feel-good neurotransmitter, is known to influence mood. In depression, serotonin levels are typically low, contributing to feelings of sadness and lack of interest. Anxiety disorders, on the other hand, are often linked to an overactive fear response in the brain. This response can be traced back to a tiny almond-shaped structure called the amygdala, which plays a key role in processing emotions, particularly fear. When the amygdala senses danger, it triggers a series of reactions, leading to the fight or flight response. In anxiety disorders, this response may be triggered too readily, leading to feelings of fear and worry even when there is no apparent threat. Bipolar disorder, characterized by extreme mood swings, involves complex interactions between various neurotransmitters, including dopamine, glutamate, and GABA. In manic phases, there may be an overactivity of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward, while depressive episodes may involve reduced activity of this neurotransmitter. Mood and anxiety disorders are not just all in the head. They are real, tangible alterations in our brain's chemistry and function. These conditions can be debilitating, but understanding their neural correlates is a crucial step towards developing effective treatments and reducing the stigma associated with mental health disorders. Science is not just about cold, hard facts. It's about people, their stories, and how these stories shape our understanding of the world. Imagine a child born with Fragile X syndrome, a genetic disorder that triggers a broad spectrum of developmental problems, including learning disabilities and cognitive impairment. This condition, caused by a mutation on the X chromosome, elucidates the role of genetics in neurodevelopmental disorders. By studying individuals with Fragile X syndrome, researchers have begun to unravel the complex interplay between genes, brain development, and behavior. Now let's pivot to a different scenario. Picture a newborn suffering from fetal alcohol syndrome, a condition that arises from prenatal exposure to alcohol. This syndrome can result in a variety of developmental delays, cognitive impairments, and facial abnormalities. The heartbreaking consequences of fetal alcohol syndrome have highlighted the profound impact of environmental factors on brain development and catalyzed a global public health campaign against drinking during pregnancy. Finally, we turn to the story of Harry Harlow and his rhesus monkeys. In the mid-20th century, Harlow conducted a series of groundbreaking experiments that demonstrated the importance of early maternal care and social interaction in normal development. Harlow's monkeys, deprived of their mothers and raised in isolation, exhibited severe social and emotional abnormalities. These findings underscored the critical role of nurturing and social interaction in early brain development, reshaping our understanding of both normal and abnormal psychological development. Each of these stories paints a vivid picture of brain disorders, shedding light on their causes and consequences. But these are not just tales of suffering and despair, they are also stories of discovery and hope. They remind us that every individual living with a brain disorder is a crucial piece of the puzzle, contributing to our collective understanding of the brain and its myriad complexities. These case studies not only provide valuable insights into brain disorders, but also underscore the human aspect of scientific research. The brain is the last and greatest frontier in science, and each day we are making strides in understanding this complex organ. We're on the cusp of breakthroughs that could change lives thanks to the relentless pursuit of knowledge by researchers worldwide. Their work centers around the intricate dance of neurons and synapses, the complex choreography that dictates our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Take, for instance, the groundbreaking studies conducted by David Hubel and Torsten Wiesel. Their research on the development of the visual system opened up a new world of understanding. They discovered critical periods in visual development, showing how early experiences shape the organization and function of our brains. This has profound implications for our understanding of neurodevelopmental disorders and offers potential pathways for intervention. A similar spirit of discovery is evident in the work being done on treatment approaches for brain disorders. The landscape of treatment options is constantly evolving, driven by a cycle of research, testing, and refinement. From drug therapies targeting the biochemistry of the brain to innovative approaches like deep brain stimulation for Parkinson's disease, researchers are tirelessly working to push the boundaries of what's possible. Of course, it's not just about treating symptoms. It's also about understanding and addressing the root causes of these conditions. This is where the role of genetics and environmental influences comes into play. By studying these factors, we can develop strategies to prevent or mitigate the onset of brain disorders. But what does all this mean for us? It means hope. Hope for those living with brain disorders and their loved ones. Hope for a future where these conditions can be effectively managed or even cured. It means that every day, we're getting closer to understanding the mysteries of the brain. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of the brain, there is hope. Hope for a future where brain disorders can be effectively managed or even cured. Join us in the next episode as we explore developmental neuroscience, delving into the mechanisms underlying brain development from infancy to adulthood and their implications for cognition and behavior. Remember, knowledge is power, so don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. The more we know, the more we can do to make a difference. Until next time, keep exploring.